Hello, chemistry students. I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about some of the questions that might be a little bit trickier on this sheet. So first of all, I know one of the questions refers right back to this front page, the order of orbitals that in terms of by energy level. And so just know that you have that listed right here on this front page. So sometimes that's confusing because as you can see, it goes from 1s, 2s, 2p, and so on. And then when we go from 4s to 3d. So 3d really is a slightly higher energy level than 4s. Okay, so just make sure that you're following this. Other questions that kind of come up, it does a lot of this asking you to look at the periodic table and explain connections between groups of elements. So let me see really quick if I can find one. So pretty much, when we have like question number 1 and then ABC, question number 2, ABC. So C is why, can your group explain any connection between the charge of the electron configuration of these elements that it's talking about? So it says find all the elements that end with a single s electron. So looking at the periodic table, let me bring that up really quickly. So looking at the periodic table, so this first question says, again, number 1 is find all the elements that end with a single s electron. These, and it actually is this group, it's all of the group 1, right? Because this is hydrogen ends with 1s1, lithium ends with 2s1, sodium ends with 3s1, and so on. So we should be able to make that connection there. And so can your group explain any connection between the charge and the electron configuration of these elements? All of these form a charge of +1 when they form an ion. All of these form a charge of +2, as do up to here. These also form a charge of +2. And then starting from this side, of course, these don't form a charge. These form a charge of -1. And this group is a charge of -2. This will sometimes form a charge of, some of these will form a charge of -3. Some of these will form a charge of +3, and so on. But the most prevalent are the -1, -2, +1, +2. Okay? And so there's a lot of, again, 2C, then you're talking about a different group. Explain any connection between the charge and the electron configuration of these elements, and so on. So I think those tend to be, questions that usually come up with this lab. So it's really asking you to make connections between that electron configuration and the charge and the commonalities in those groups. The other thing that they do refer to are energy levels. And so they ask some questions about how many orbitals, for example, are there in the first energy level. So when we talk about energy level, we're talking about the number that precedes the orbital shape, which is s, p, d, or f. So in the first energy level, we just have that 1s orbital. So there's only one shape of orbital in that energy level. In the second energy level, we have both 2s, sorry, writing with my mouse, this is really bad, 2s, let's see, that should be a 2, not a 5, 2s and 2p. So we have 2 in the second energy level. Remember, this designates energy level. There is no 2d or 2f. So in the second energy level, we have a 2s and a 2p. In the third energy level, starting right here, we have a 3s, a 3p, and there's a 3d, right? So this is 2p, this is 3p. So in that third energy level, we actually have 3s, 3d, and 3p. We have all of those. Okay, fourth energy level, we have 4s, 4d, 4p, and actually the order would be 4s, 4p, 4d, and we have 4f. Okay, so that's what they're asking about in those energy levels. So hopefully that helps. Please email me with any questions that you still have about this lab.